All right. And if you guys have spiritual development questions, you can just ask those. Hi, Ward. And I will answer them in between readings. Just trying to pin comments. And there we go. All right, we should be all set up. Hello, everybody. Look at all you beautiful souls hopping on. Natasha, did you open a martial arts place, Natasha? Okay. All right. We are streaming in all of the places. We are on TikTok, we are on Facebook, and we are on YouTube. So here we go. Yay. Hi, Corey. All right. So we are going to be doing some paid psychic mediumship readings. They're energy readings using, obviously, psychic mediumship. So you could have a loved one come through. They're mini reads. That's why they're $15. So what I'll do is connect to your energy. I'll tell you what I'm feeling. I'm a physical medium, so I kind of bring I bring the energy into my body, and I read the energy. Hi, Paul. And then I tell you what I'm feeling, what's coming up, and any messages that are happening right away. And if you have a specific question, you can always ask it then, once I get out whatever is coming through right away. Yes, it's my hubby's school. We no longer have the building due to the pandemic, but we still teach it. Oh, how awesome. I didn't know. Andy sings. Hello, thanks for being here. All right. So if you pay for a reading, make sure you put your full name in the comments. Let me know that you paid, and I'll add you to the list. I'm going to start with I'm going to do some cards just for collective. I want to tell first of all, how is everybody feeling after this full moon? Let me just tell you, yes, it was a full moon in Aquarius, but it was intense for me. It was an intense full moon for me. And I haven't had an intense full moon, but after that big energy shift that we went through, we're still kind of going through, but a couple of weeks ago, like 2-3 weeks ago, holy crap. I'll tell you, yes, I don't really resonate with the word empty, but I do. I feel like everything in my cup was emptied out. I feel like anything that was left in my cup that was like, you need to work on right now, it was like dumped out. And it was like, look at this, look at it, feel it. And it was intense. It was intense. A lot of death energy for me anyway. I felt a lot of death energy. Like there was an aspect of myself, an inner child. I wrote about it yesterday, between the ages of 13 and 16 that was coming up for me, healing some really deep, dark trauma that honestly I repressed, and for good reason. But it came up, and I had no choice but to sit in it and look at it. And it's interesting. Sometimes we take actions and we think that they're impulsive, or we don't know why we're taking that action. But I took an action. I did something that I just leaped. I just took an action. And as soon as I took the action, I immediately had this feeling of, okay, why did I take that action? Where did that action come from? And I thought I knew where that action came from. And it really wasn't it. It wasn't what it was. It was so that it would bring up this trauma that I had hidden away, right? And that's the whole thing. There's no more, the veil is gone. This veil has been gone for a long time. But as the frequency of the planet increases, it's like the analogy that they always give that I love, and so I always use, is like a dimmer switch. As the frequency increases, that dimmer switch goes up, and things that were always there that you could not see before, we now see, and we have to deal with them. And so we just become a little bit more aware of ourselves, and we become aware of things, and we think they came out of nowhere. We think we already healed that, but the issue is it's just another piece, right? It's another layer. We're opening up constantly. Awakening is not a one-time process. Holly, I got you, love. So it's not a one-time process. It's a continuation that continuously happens. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how I know I feel, not how I'm supposed to. You don't know how you're supposed to feel, I think is what you meant to say. Maybe. You're supposed to feel whatever you're feeling. Like there's no thing that says you have to pay, or you have to feel this one way, right? But I don't feel like empty is a bad thing. That's my point. Is I feel like sometimes it's a good thing, because now your cup can be filled up. So what do you want it to be filled with? What do you want to be filled with? Thank you for the like. Harmonia Tarot. Oh, sunglasses. Harmonia Tarot in the house. For those of you who are on TikTok, make sure you follow Harmonia Tarot if you like tarot. She's the best. Okay. Polly Leroy, you have paid, but I'm going to do a collective reading first, and then I will get to you because I feel like doing one. So I'm going to do a collective. Okay. Good evening, Teresa. Where are you at? Good evening. Where are you at? All right. We've already called in the guides, the angels, my galactic family. We're going to see what the collective needs to know. What does the collective need to know right now? What does the collective need to know right now? Ooh. August is a very big month following the Galactic New Year. Always is. North Carolina. I lived there for 9 years. Oh, okay. That's worth 3 cards. And this August, and then of course Lionsgate, August is going to be a very powerful month. But it's weird to me because I do feel like about mid-month, it's going to start to calm down a little bit, but it'll ramp right back up. We have 2 full moons in this month, and that's a rarity. So there's going to be a lot illuminated, a lot coming to the surface. Okay, so the first card I pulled for the collective is wealth. I'm going to put it right here. Immediately, though, I got the feeling of re-understanding, relearning, reinterpreting what wealth means, what the word wealth means. Same with abundance, right? We use these words all the time in the spiritual community. But the thing that the guides have been working with me with, and immediately what I felt when I tapped into this is, you ever heard the saying, I have a wealth of knowledge, right? Wealth is just a lot of something, and it's an abundance of something. But I'm also hearing right now redistribution of wealth. So I feel like that's kind of what we're currently going through in the world on the collective stage. It's like this redistribution of wealth, and not necessarily just in the form of money, while that is going to be a thing that will come. I feel like it's just a redistribution of energy. I feel like there's so much energy that's getting redistributed into the right places, and things are changing and funneling. So there's a lot breaking down. There's new things coming up. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of uncertainty in the collective energy. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of death energy in the collective frequency. You can totally feel that. The other, okay, I never add numbers together, but this card number is 34, which makes a 7. And 7 is the energy of leading thyself. It's a God number, right? God number meaning you're in charge, you're responsible, you're in power. So there's something about that energy that I needed to speak. The other card that came through was truth. So this number is 51. Like I said, I don't ever add numbers together. So 51 is a number for me that represents awakening. It's an activation. And so being that it's truth, again, I feel like with this redistribution of energy that's happening, I feel like there's going to be, as we already know, way more truth being brought to the surface. But it's interesting because they make me feel like it's not just that. It's about your own individual truth. Like there's going to be a lot of people having a kind of a come to Jesus meeting with themselves, because there's going to be things that you're going to learn in the collective, but also learn within yourself that you weren't aware of before. So it's a very interesting time. And then the last one is the butterfly. Okay. 25 to me is a number of unconditional love. The butterfly represents a lot about rebirth energy, but it's more, I always think rebirth is more of the phoenix, but with the butterfly, it's to me, it's a smaller rebirth almost, because you're moving from one form into another, right? You're moving from something that you're uncomfortable in, something that you may not like. Think of like being a caterpillar and then going into the chrysalis, into the goo, and then becoming this thing. So there's a lot of people that are going to be going through a transfer. It's a better word. Thank you. Transformation. There's a lot of people that are going to be going through a transformation. So I feel like this has a lot of what we're going to be actually experiencing in the month of August. But this was an interesting read. So that's what I feel is for the collective. So now we're going to tap into Miss Holly. All right. Spirit makes me add all the time, drives me nuts. Spirit makes me add add the numbers. Yeah. I don't know. I don't do that. So that's why I was like, this is weird. They want me to add the numbers. That's not something I do, but I do know you do that. That is something I've seen you do. All right. All right. Holly on Facebook. Let me tap into you, my love. Get down. Get out of there. Sorry, you guys, the cat is driving me nuts. All right, so I got some interesting things happening, Polly. First of all, your heart, big heart energy. And I could feel tingles on my head. Remember, tingles on your head is information coming in. It's downloads, and it's communication, it's activations. Anytime you feel the tingles on your head, that's what it is. So that's coming in. I feel like it's really hitting your heart. You definitely have not just loved ones, but you have guides that have really been trying to communicate with you. But the other thing they made me feel was shortness of breath. I felt like this heaviness on my chest, almost like I had just climbed a marathon of stairs and I am out of breath. What is with the chest? What is with the chest? They're wanting to take me to your chest. So what's going on with your chest? There's something really heavy on your chest. I don't know if it's there's energetic weight that's heavy, but I feel like it's almost hard to breathe. Maybe tired. So in our chest, in our lungs is where we store a lot of grief. Do you ever stop and take a breath? You're running yourself ragged. I feel like you're running yourself ragged. Nope and yes. Work is busy, kids, etc. Yeah. So I just heard she doesn't know how to put herself first. She doesn't know how to put herself first. She doesn't know how to prioritize herself. And I also feel like you, God, I feel like you, alone, like you're alone. Not that you're alone, but you feel alone in the busyness. You feel alone in all the things that you have to do. And I don't know if that means like you don't feel like anybody understands or anybody gets you or anybody is there to help you. But I feel like you feel alone in it. And I can feel that you really want the time. You really want to take care of yourself and like give that self to your time. But they're making me feel like this has to be a priority so it doesn't stop you. Like, so you don't get stopped. Oh boy, you got a troll. I do most by myself, sometimes easier. And I understand that. We think it's easier. We think it's easier because I used to do the same thing, and I would say it's easier because then I have to explain what I needed done, or they wouldn't do it right, they wouldn't meet my expectations. I'd have to go behind them and fix it and do it the way that I wanted to do it to begin with. And so it's like, why don't I just do it myself, and just be done with it? But they're making me feel like you're not in your body a lot. You're not in your body. You're so on the go. You're so busy. You're so in constant motion of some sort. And even when they make me feel like even when you're sitting down, like you're still in your head and you're, oh my God, they're huge today. They're everywhere today. You're still in your head. You're still like reviewing the next thing. You're like going through your to-do list. You're like going through all of those things. And we really want to get you to a space where you can create a little bit of time for yourself, where your focus is on you. So they're bringing me to something that I used to do, and I still do it from time to time, but is just creating 20 minutes to yourself where you can sit and scan your body. Literally, you can start from head to toe, or you can go from toe to head, and you literally just slowly go through each part of your body, bringing light into it, just feeling it, bringing light into it, and just noticing every sensation in your body as you slowly move up. And then whether you go up or down, it doesn't matter, just kind of turning that energy around. And then they almost show me like the DNA symbol where there's energy that starts to move up your spine. And so it's like this energy where it cleanses you, encompasses you, and brings it up. So they're really coming back to this. They're bringing that back to that. So again, we're gonna say this again so I can make sure that I interpreted it correctly. The best way to do it would be to start at your head, bring in a golden light, just scan your body all the way down to your feet. See that energy coming up, again back down, and then as soon as it hits your roots, see it go up your spine. So instead of like going through your whole body, it's just starting to spiral up your spine until it meets that top again. And so that process, if you do it real slow, should be about 20 minutes. What they're saying is that's going to do is it's going to make you super present. It's going to cleanse your energy because there's some boundary work that you need to do. You're taking on, I don't know how many kids you have, but I feel like you have at least two. You're taking on a lot of stress, fears. Your energetic hygiene needs to be better. So you're taking on a lot of energy around you that isn't yours. So that's going to help cleanse you. It's going to help bring you present. It's going to help to charge you. So if you can start with that like once a day, give yourself 20 minutes to do that in complete silence. Again, if you have a eye mask, headphones, whatever you can do to kind of make yourself completely black and tuned into just your area. When I had all my kids and I was married and had animals and all the things, I used to hide in the closet and do this. So I understand what it's like, but create that space for yourself. If you can start doing that, what they'd love for you to do is get up to 2 times a day. Once like early on, maybe once at the end of the day before you go to bed or unwind. But if you can at least start with once a day, giving yourself 20 minutes, I feel like it's going to change a lot of things for you. They're telling me a lot of coughing, and mucus. You might want to look in to mold toxicity. Believe it or not, you can get it out of your food. So, but I'm getting feeling a lot of phlegm and coughing. If it isn't what you're going through right now, it's something that's going to start happening as you start working with this light. It's going to start breaking up. There's some grief that's trapped in your chest that we need to kind of move through and work through. Do you have any specific questions for me? I'm going to pull a card for you too. Okay, yeah. So the other thing they'd like you to do is when you're in the shower, visualize the shower. It seems like they're giving me tons of practices to help bring you present and ground you. So when you're in the shower, every time you take a shower, imagine that water is literally washing the insides clean, just like cleansing your energy, washing it all down the drain. You can envision the water as healing water. They want you to bring in some visualization just as you're washing your body or rinsing your hair or whatever. Just imagine it washing you clean, really clearing everything out. And get to working on those energetic boundaries, girlfriend. I also feel like there's going to be some type of shift or opportunity. Something's going to change at the end of August. For the better, they said. The end of August, there's going to be something for the better that's going to come. Discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. I know. I think it's tied to relationships. It could be a work relationship. I actually think there's I don't know if you're going to meet somebody or there's going to be a new person at work or there's some type of person who comes in, but I think there's going to be an opportunity. It's going to be a change in your finances. Discovering truth. So there's it's the thing with the end of the month. It has an opportunity, there's a person involved, and money. So it could be a new opportunity, right? But discovering truth, this is about taking the journey. Discovering truth. As you journey, things are going to come to light. There's things that you're going to discover. There's things you're going to become aware of. There's going to be opportunities presented. So be open. Be open to the possibilities. Be open to what's presented to you. Also, stand in the light of your own truth, right? So own your power. Own your power, own who you are. Make sure that you are taking care and charging that light. You cannot lead another human being, I don't care how old they are, if your light is dim or off, because it has not been charged. Okay? So it's very important. Okay. Hello, everybody. I hope that resonated for you, Miss Polly. Okay, let's see. Natasha says, huge transformation for me and my family. We are working on ourselves, healing and learning and growing as a family. I love that. Natasha, I love watching you on social media because you guys are always out and about. You're always doing all kinds of stuff together, like always. And I love that. It's so awesome. You're so welcome, Polly. All right. So if you guys would like a reading, please let me know where you paid and put your full name, and we will go from there. If you have a spiritual development question, feel free to ask that, and I will help you any way that I can. But I would love to hear how you guys experienced the full moon, because like I said, for me, it was a doozy. It brought up some deep stuff. I'm really glad it's over. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions for me? And again, if you have a specific question for the reading, you can always ask the specific question as well. What have you all been struggling with? Some of the things that I've heard the most since this last energy shift has been people feeling exhausted and people not having an appetite. So my exhaustion comes on and off. I go through these phases where I need to work out a lot, and then I need like a couple of days where I'm just like laying around doing nothing. But my appetite, I have to force myself to eat right now. It's crazy. But remember, and I take days where I just eat apples. I've talked about this several times. Our digestion cycle, digestion in general is one of the most energetically taxing things the body does. And you cannot digest emotions or energy, because that's what emotions are, right? Energy and motion. You cannot digest energy and food at the same time. That's why people eat their emotions. Because if you eat a bunch of food, your body is going to prioritize digesting the density, which is the food, over the energy. And so our emotions then get repressed. And so when I have been, over the last few weeks, I have been eating, I call it my apple fast. So I literally will just have a couple of apples throughout the day. I'll space them out. Or I'll just have a liquid smoothie. And even that can sometimes be too much. But it allows me to digest all the energy that's moving through me, especially if you're someone who is here to anchor light like I am. It's just one of the things that happens through my vessel is I'm anchoring a lot of light, which means there's stuff that moves through me, and some of it's for me, and I have to digest it, and it needs to go to certain places. And it's going to push up pain points, right, and things like that. And so if I notice that even when I'm eating super clean right now, that I can have a stomach ache because my body's like, hey, we really need to digest this energy, but you put food in you. Now we have to do that. And so it causes this indigestion, right? This traffic jam in my body. So I don't know if anybody else has experienced that, but if you're not hungry or haven't had no appetite over the last couple of weeks, that is possibly why. But if you're exhausted, there's lots of reasons why we're exhausted. It can be because we're integrating. Usually when we're integrating something into our bones or something is, or integrate, so there's one thing at a time here, people. Integrating something new means you've already let go of an old pattern. You've accepted it, right? Because you're never letting go of anything. You're just accepting. You're letting go of control of anything. You're accepting. So once you're accepting it, you're allowing that new information into your bone structure, right? It becomes your foundation. And so it can be very exhausting to integrate something. The other reason why a lot of people are exhausted right now is because when they let go of a lot at one time. So again, once we went through that major energy shift, for a lot of people, there was a really big letting go. Like they were just pushed to let go of a lot of energy. And when you let go of a lot of that control, right? And you just finally accept what is and feel it and be with it, there can be an exhaustion because you were carrying something for so long. Think about that, right? Like today I went to the grocery store. Typical woman, I got all the bags on 2 arms. I'm not making 2 trips, right? I'm doing it in 1 trip. But when I put everything down, my arms are sore and they're exhausted, right? So when you're carrying a lot and you finally say, I'm not going to carry this anymore. I'm not going to try to control everything. I don't believe everything is for me. I'm not going to carry all this baggage anymore. And you finally set it down. Your whole body can sometimes just be like, oh, I'm dead and need to rest for however long. Yes, no hunger and so many emotions, memories of my life coming up. Most I haven't thought of since experiencing all you just spoke of, exactly lining up with my reality. Yes, great. You know that you are right with everybody else. And it came through at 3:33. Ding, ding, ding. That's alignment. That number means alignment for me. So that's an awesome response and timing. All right. Okay, we're just going to give it a few more minutes and see if anybody else would like a reading. And for those of you who missed us on the breakdown yesterday, we had some tech issues. So we'll be back next week. Bad timing, but it worked out. We'll be back next week with bells on, smiling. Any other spiritual development questions? Or questions about the energy in general? I have mantra music playing in the background. I love mantra music. It's so beautiful. Okay, my loves. Thank you guys for hopping on. Thank you, Polly, for your reading. I thank you for trusting me with your energy. And I might pop back on a little bit later or tomorrow. So look forward to that if you decide that you want to come back and get a reading. But I will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me.